Hi, my name is Marco Cattaneo and this is a quick tutorial on converting powers. For example, you want to know how many kilometers is 5.5 millimeters. There you go. Now one talks about milli and the other one talks about kilo. Milli typically means 1/1000th. Okay, so it's 1 divided by 1,000. That's milli. Where kilo typically means like 1,000. 1 kilogram is like 1,000 grams. 1 kiloliter is like 1,000 liters. Anyway, 5 millimeters. How many kilometers? What do they have in common? Well, they've got this thing called meters in common. Okay. If you want to write like 1/1000th, you can also write equals 10 to the power of minus 3. Or you can even write equals power as a function 10 to the power of minus 3. It's all the same thing, okay? Enter. For kilometers, you can write 1,000 as like 10 to the power of 3, which means that 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. Or you can write equals power base 10 and the power is 3. 10 to the power of 3. It's all the same. If you talk about meters, well, 1 meter is 1 meter, I guess. It's somewhere in the middle. That's the unit I'm counting in. 1 meter is the same as like 10 to the power of 0, because something to the power of 0 is always 1. So 10 to the power of 0 also equals 1. Or you can even type in equals power 10, the base is 10, and the power is 0. 10 to the power of 0 is also 1. Now, how do you go from one to the other? Well, you simply say you want to know like how many kilometers is like 5.5 millimeters. You divide that one by that one. And then you multiply with 5.5. So how does it work? So we go to equals, opening bracket, that one, divided by that one, times 5.5. There you go. Enter. So in other words, like 5.5 millimeters is 0.0000055 kilometers. And that's your answer. That's how we convert. Now I've got something up here, something very similar. So 1 unit, of course, like equals 1 unit. So let's do the same example. So 5.5. I want to have milli units. So let's select here with the drop down arrow. Let's select milli. There you go. And I want to know how many kilo units that is. So let's select kilo here. There you go. 5.5 milli units equals 0.0000055 kilo units. Could be meters, could be liters, could be something else. But that's how you convert between the two systems. Now, how does it work? There's something underneath here, of course, like this is the equation. So let's hit F2 to show the contents. You can see I'm doing something very similar. I take the value of A1, which is at 5.5. Then I say like multiply times 10 to the power of something. And that something is returned from a lookup function, a vertical lookup, VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP looks for B1. What is B1? Well, milli. So it looks for milli in some type of table, power underscore table. And if it finds milli, it will return the value from the second column. Yeah. Then it divides by 10 to the power of VLOOKUP. It looks for kilo because E1 contains kilo. Again, it looks in the same table. If it finds kilo, it returns whatever value sits in the second column. So let's have a quick look at like our power tables sheet here, where I can actually find my power tables table, my VLOOKUP table. Remember, I'm going to look for milli initially. I find milli, I return minus 3. Then I look for kilo. Here we go, kilo. If I find kilo, I return 3. So 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by 10 to the power of 3 is 10 to the power of minus 6 times, of course, 5.5. Two tables here. This is my VLOOKUP table, which is named power underscore table. There you go. This is column A needs to be in alphabetical order, so it's nicely sorted here, going from A all the way to Z. Where this one is my my pick list, which is simply going from a very, very small 10 to the power of minus 24 to very, very, very big iota 10 to the power of 24. So you've got like 48 powers in between there. That's quite a range, okay? Well, if you think of bytes, I mean 1 megabyte is 10 to the 6th bytes, is a million bytes. Gigabyte is a billion bytes. Terabyte is a trillion bytes. So here you've got all these prefixes. But of course, like, we can also use million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, and so on. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So that actually shows you the power of like using something like VLOOKUP to convert from a certain type of like units to some other type of like units there. So this one goes from milli units to kilo units. Do you want to go the other way around? So let's take 5.5 kilo units. 5.5 kilo units. And let's ask ourselves like how many milli units that is. That will probably become a very big number, I guess. Milli, there you go. Yeah, so 5.5 kilo units equals 5.5 million milli units. 5.5 like kilometers. Kilometers equals 5.5 million millimeters. Yeah. Pretty cool. Hope this is useful to some of the people like, I don't know, some of the people that need to convert numbers there. Maybe it's part of like a science subject or something. They do at uni. You name it. Have fun with this. Bye bye.